Now look at this boat in front of us. It's really unusual. It's not often you see steering from the middle, almost the middle of a narrowboat. What a beautiful boat. Well, Happy New Year to you. I hope you're well and I hope you've been looking after yourself. Today we have a very special cruise because we are about to tackle something called the Stairway to Heaven. But what is the Stairway to Heaven and why is it called that? The Stairway to Heaven is the Hatton Locks. They're just outside Birmingham in a village called Hatton. They span across 2 miles. There's 21 of them to do. They were widened in 1934 to compete with the railway, and the Duke of Kent opened them on that occasion. And they were called the Stairway to Heaven because when the boaters got to the very top, that is where they got their wages. Now it might be pouring with rain, but we are lucky today because we have 2 rays of sunshine helping us through the locks, and that is Richard and Donna. Let me tell you who Richard and Donna are.
We have fantastic helpers in Richard and Donna who have come to help us through the locks. Now Richard is at night time on still waters, the podcast I rave about. So that's so kind of them to come up. Richard, do you mind if I'm filming? You've already been on the biggest narrowboating channel, haven't you? Let me come out and give you a hug.
Hello, Zephyr.
Even though ahead of us is at least 3 hours of work, having Richard and Donna there makes the whole thing so much fun. I mean, even the bow deck spider seems to be enjoying itself.
I think we're nearly at the halfway point and now I am driving. Rain is coming down. It's been so lovely. We just had some tea and cake and it's just been wonderful just catching up with Donna and Richard. They're such a lovely couple. It's so good of them to give up their day to help us through these locks because I don't think there's any volunteers.
Now apparently, when you get to the middle lock, you're not supposed to call out the name Alf or Alfred. A boater called Sue Rivers didn't know this and called to her husband, "Alf, go ahead, it's empty," in reference to the lock. When the boat entered the lock, suddenly the lock gate shut behind him and the paddles started to wind themselves. When Sue looked up, a huge horse began charging down the towpath towards her, kicking up a cloud of mist that a young woman suddenly emerged from, carrying a wicker basket and crying, "Alfred, don't leave me." The story goes that Alfred was a married canal man and the young lady with the wicker basket was not his wife.
Continental way, eh?
Yeah. I know, sorry.
Have a nice one, love.
And you. That's amazing. Just saying that weather like this makes it more exciting. At the last one, the camera's really steamed and misty because of the rain, but we've done it, we're at the top. Yay!
We had made it to the top of the Stairway to Heaven, where we were paid in curry and burnt jacket potatoes that had been on the stove for half of the day.
So this is it, we are off to exciting new places. I'm very, very excited about this stop. I'll let you know when we get there and share the reason why. But it's not pouring with rain today. We are minus our sunshine of Richard and Donna, but we are excited about 2023's adventures.
This is our journey today, and it will take us about an hour and a half, I think. This gorgeous house on the left started life as a public house and then became the station master's house because the station is just literally behind here.
I don't mind how cold it is, but if you've got a light like this, it's just beautiful.
It's days like this when winter cruising really comes into its own. Now we are approaching Shrewley Tunnel. Richard on his podcast did a whole description beautifully detailing what it was like to go through this tunnel. I'll put a link to that in my description. I really recommend listening to that. But it's a nice one. Look, we can see the end ahead of us. It's straight, but I have heard it's very, very wet.
Here we go. 396 metres.
Now, because the water continually flows through the ceiling and the walls of this tunnel, there's these amazing flowstone formations where the water has reacted to the minerals. They're just stunning.
Ooh, it's wet.
And of course, this tunnel, the boatmen would have legged their boats through.
It's a drippy one. You can hear the water.
Oh my goodness.
This really is a tunnel where you bring your shampoo, I think, and just go for it. Gorgeous. That's the spot. That's the spot for the radar.
And you can see the tunnel above. That's where the horses would have come out of, and you can still walk through that.
Gorgeous boat coming this way with its steaming light on, ready to go into the tunnel.
Isn't that beautiful? There's loads of people on it. Yeah, it's wet in there.
It's really dripping.
Really bad. As soon as we crossed over Brook Aqueduct, the cruise became one of the best cruises I think I've ever had. It's literally taking my breath away at the moment. I know that just sounds really over the top, but the colour is taking my breath away. It's almost like cruising through a painting. So I'm a 15-minute walk from where I wanted to be, which is perfect. But why did I want to be there? Where is this place? Let me share that with you. I am off to try and find one of the houses that Edith Holden lived in her lifetime. And Edith Holden is the Edwardian lady who kept the country diary that really inspires me with her nature notes and journals. And she lived in Kingswood for 7 years of her life. And I'm trying to find Edith Holden's house that she lived in her late teens. Now this is the road she lived on, and when she lived there, there was just her house and the station. I'm looking for a house that Edith Holden.
So, what's the name again?
Her name is Edith Holden. Hi.
Martin, you know the hills down there?
Where Gowan Bank is, and I don't think the existing one is here. So if you walk back that way.
Oh, well, I'll show you.
Yeah,
Really?
show the house.
You're so kind. This bungalow is called Gowan Bank, and one of the really kind gentlemen said that he thinks the house was here and they knocked it down to build these detached bungalows. And it's really interesting. It's a big space. And that definitely says Gowan Bank. It says Gowan Bank. But both of the locals told me there's a lady who lives in the village who would know because she is part of the local history group. And they told me where her house was. I just had to be brave enough to go and knock at it. I've got a chance here to find out more by talking to local historians, people who've looked at the history of this village. They're bound to know about Edith Holden, but I've got a knock on a stranger's door. And what do you do? What do you say? You go, ding dong. Oh, hello. What do you do after hello? Oh, God, what do I say? Oh. I don't know how I'm going to say it. I am going to do it. I know, we've got to go back on the lead now. Well, not we, you've got to go back on the lead. Are you going to be well behaved? Because we're going to have to knock on someone's house. So I knocked on Claire's door. Claire confirmed that the cottages or the bungalows are where the house used to be. And at first I felt quite sad about that, because I thought it's a shame that the house has been demolished. But when you think about it, that land was quite vast that they had. They had a big house, and it's made the way now for 5, maybe more families to live in those bungalows, and everyone needs a home, and so actually I'm not that sad about it anymore. Its bony branches brush the sky. This oak's 100+ years high. As kind hands keep the paddles wound, its roots down deep doze in the ground. Its lumpy trunk of bumps and burrs, witch's broom smothers her spurs, while others help a searcher seek. Oak knows, if only oak could speak, for every song of owl and lark is captured deep within its bark, and those whose toes have rested near fill hollows as it grows each year.